welcome back to the HQ. Today, we're going to be reacting to a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts 3 by Barry Kramer. The last time I watched one of his videos, which was a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts, I turned a 30-minute video into almost an hour and a half because I kept yapping and interjecting and adding more lore and giving little bits of information that weren't present in the video because I just can't help myself. I like to yap sometimes. I like to jabberjaw some a little bit there. So, oh shit. So let's see what I am gonna be yapping about in this one and see how much detail he gets into here. So let's just jump right into this thing, shall we?
This video is brought to you in part by me, because I made this.
He made
Welcome
this.
to a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts 3. You might be here because you just can't be bothered to play Kingdom Hearts 3, or maybe it's the year 2082 and you're looking for a refresher before Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. Hi kids,
That's valid. The Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser, when did it come out? Let me Google that real quick. Let me see. When did the KH4 teaser come out? It came out April 2022. It came out in April 2022. So it's been almost 4 years since Kingdom Hearts 4's teaser trailer came out. And we are no closer to knowing when we're going to get any new information on that. Life truly is pain. So I think it's good enough as any to get little refreshers on this.
it's me, your grand Pep in the past. If you're confused and lost, well, I mean, we all are, but you should probably watch my other video first, covering everything up to this point.
Way ahead of you.
Alright, then let's do this. Kingdom
Need the
Hearts
drink.
3.
I need a drink.
Last we saw Sora, he was getting told by
Kraken
Yen Sid
can.
to get good. His main task is to relearn the power of waking, which will allow him to help those jumbled up hearts inside of him and unjelly his jam once and for all. I guess that's technically what he did with Kairi's heart back in Kingdom Hearts 1, but with the power of waking, he shouldn't have to poke his soft underbelly and turn into a bug. Yen Sid gives everybody who matters new clothing and sends them off.
Oh, also be on the lookout for Keyblade wielders. We need like 2 more to get to 7.
Kingdom Hearts 3 fit
Sora,
is pretty
Donald,
cool.
and Goofy fly through a bunch of completely arbitrary Disney worlds that once again do not matter in the slightest, and Sora learns absolutely nothing about the power of waking.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, but they are fun little worlds. The fact that they did a shot-for-shot recreation of Let It Go, because they just had to. And also the fact that they had a bunch of Pixar stuff in there too. Like, Toy Story and Monsters Inc. That's cool. Also, Monsters Inc. had the best scene of just yeetus Vanitas, of just yeeting Vanitas through multiple doors. It is the best scene in all of Kingdom Hearts, and I dare you to fight me on that. And also, the setup of Verum Rex, which was literally just Nomura being like, oh, you won't let me make the Final Fantasy 13 verses that I want to make? Then I'll do it myself. That's literally all it is. It's just Nomura trying to make the Versus 13 that he wanted to make, and not Final Fantasy 15.
Jack Sparrow is actually a bunch of crabs in a trench coat, and
Yeah.
Rex from Toy Story is obsessed with this hot new video game you wish you were playing instead called Verum Rex. Wait, is he obsessed with it because he thinks it's about him? Oh, and you can make Olaf. Also, Maleficent and Pete are back, and they're looking for a box. They don't find it.
Well, they do find it by the end of the game, but, you know, they're a little too late to get to it themselves. They're after the Master of Masters box, by the way.
Pat-a-pat, aw. Along the way, we're reintroduced to the real Organization 13 and learn who the rest of the members are. Disappointingly, they're all characters we already know.
Yeah.
Boo! In addition to the Norts we saw in Dream Drop Distance, there's Larxene, Marluxia, Luxord, Vexen, and Demyx. But now they all have yellow eyes. Yo-oh!
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people we already know.
Also joining the gang is Vanitas from Birth by Sleep and Dark Riku, a time-traveling replica Riku from Chain of Memories.
It's so convoluted. They just have a time-traveling replica of evil Riku.
This is a different Riku than the replica Riku we met in Castle Oblivion, and we know this because that replica Riku is hanging out inside of the original Riku like a teenager loitering outside of 7-Eleven.
Yeah, for some reason, the replica of Riku from Chain of Memories just kind of like has its own heart and hangs out with Riku. Yeah, It's weird.
There's also a hand-wavy explanation as to why Ansem and Xemnas blowing up revived Old Man Xehanort instead of Terranort, but don't worry about it because Terranort is back too, and
Yeah.
there's even another hooded figure we'll get to later.
Yeah, like half of Organization 13 is literally just, like 6 of them are just different Xehanorts. Like you have Old Man Xehanort, you have Terranort, you have Xemnas, Ansem Seeker of Darkness, Young Xehanort. That's 5 members of Organization 13.
This is way more than 13? There's too many hooded figures in this game. Some of the other former members of Organization 13 decided to be good and stay as somebodies. They hang out back at Ansem the Wise's place and dig through his stuff and find his naughty magazines.
And like half of them don't even have like voice lines. They didn't even bother to give them voice lines or anything. It's weird. Like, I think it has to do with like whether or not that voice actor is still alive and wanting to like to respect the sanctity of that voice. But it's so weird for like non-Japanese speakers too, because they don't speak in other languages either. It's like the same thing happened with Phil from Hercules, because Phil's Japanese voice actor died, I think, and as a result, Phil just didn't have any speaking lines in Kingdom Hearts 3, and it was super jarring.
They text Sora old memes sometimes. The somebodies figure out what we learned like 3 games ago, that Sora has all these hearts jellying up his jam. Sora's...
Yeah, that shoe doesn't drop until Kingdom Hearts 3, and also they have a really weird like Instagram like loading screen thing. It's super weird, and it doesn't have like any actual consequence to the story.
Like, I don't know if any of them even technically count as people, but we gotta help them out. He sets out to free Roxas because, ew, girls are icky, but he runs into a problem. For one, Roxas doesn't have a body anymore, and for two, Sora doesn't know how to release Roxas's heart. Wait, hold up, since when do nobodies have hearts? I thought the whole point was that they're a shell without a heart. You know what? I have no more fight left in me. It's fine. Wrong is hooded, this plot is convoluted.
Okay, so Xemnas, in fact, lied to the members of Organization 13 who were in it just to get their own hearts. After a non-specific amount of time, a nobody can in fact form their own heart through like their memories and positive experiences. Over time, they will have their own heart. So eventually, by the time Sora had, like, Riku had to give himself up completely to Sora, Roxas had his own heart. So by that point, he had his own heart, and now it's just residing within Sora's.
Roxas's friends show up and are like, hey, we don't remember Roxas because we were only friends with him inside a computer. And Sora's
Also,
like, oh yeah, there should be a copy of his heart in the computer. But they don't know Ansem's password. Beep, boop, sad toot. Meanwhile, Riku and Mickey are so bad at rescuing Aqua that she turns into anti-Aqua.
Yeah, like, they dive down into the realm of darkness to try to save Aqua. And, they get their ass kicked by Heartless. And, like, Riku's Keyblade is shattered and he has to get a new one. And he just gets, like, a really thick, like, broadsword Keyblade that just looks like a car key.
Which is actually fine because, I mean, she's rocking it.
Oh, yeah, like, Anti-Aqua, she's a fucking baddie. I mean, Aqua already is a bad bitch, and I love her. But goddamn, girl. Give me some of that. I'll happily fall to darkness if you let me hit.
Mickey goes, and she's like, I was trapped here for 10 years and turned evil and got this sweet outfit. What took you so long? And Riku's like, I couldn't find my big car, my bad, lol. Sora pops out of a portal and helps his boyfriend Riku beat up Darkwa with the power of the Gay Blade TM. They unlock...
Yeah, I don't know why they just managed to form their own, like, super awesome, powerful Keyblade. It has no explanation. It's just power of friendship. And it's rad.
Aqua's face so hard, she turns good again.
Yep.
They zip over to Castle Oblivion, and Aqua turns it back into the land of departure, and they find Sleepy Ventus right where she left him having a big ol' nap. Sora tries to use the power of waking, but Vanitas pops up and attacks Aqua. He's like, heh heh, and she's like, oh no. Suddenly, Sora learns the actual power of waking because, you know, they had an opportunity to make the Disney worlds relevant, but no, you know what, now is fine, this'll do.
Okay, so I don't think Sora himself actually learns like the actual power of waking here. I can't remember if either he does it by complete accident or it's Ventus himself and his heart acting on his own power to leave Sora, enter his own body, and come to Aqua's defense. But I know, like, Sora doesn't consciously use the power of waking here because he doesn't learn the power of waking until his shenanigans in the final world.
Ventus's heart poots out of Sora and into Ventus, and Ventus wakes up. He jumps in front of Vanitas and goes, "Remember me?" And Vanitas goes,
Oh, that's cute, because that's what I said in Birth by Sleep when
and Ventus pops him on the noggin.
Oink.
Ow.
Did you toot?
Elsewhere, Vexen grabs Demyx and is
He
like,
tooted.
Wait, I forgot Xehanort isn't even a real goth. Let's bounce.
"What do
He
you
isn't a
mean?
real
You
goth.
willingly came
That
back and
dollar
let
store
yourself
freak.
get Norden."
I'm a double agent. I'm working for Ansem the Wise. Let's go.
Also, yeah, Vexen, he does act, in fact, as a double agent for Ansem the Wise in order to keep tabs on Organization 13 and what all they're doing and how close of progress they're making, and also because of the fact that Organization 13 was able to provide the resources required to create replica bodies, and they wanted to make replica bodies for both Roxas and Naminé. So, like, Vexen, being the expert on creating like replicas and stuff, was sent into Organization 13 as a double agent in order to like make amends and give like penance for his previous actions with the organization.
And on their way out, they steal an empty replica body for Roxas.
Yep.
For later. Oh, and Ansem the Wise is totally fine and wandering about in the background, but he barely does anything, so don't worry about him.
Yeah, Ansem the Wise is in fact here. He was in he did appear in Birth by Sleep in Aqua story in the end. Like in the final story where you play as Aqua in like the last few moments in like the Dark World, he does appear in the end as like talking with Aqua. I don't know how exactly he gets out of the realm of darkness. I think he gets saved at some point, but I cannot remember when. But yeah.
Back at Yen Sid's place, the 7 Guardians of Light are finally assembled. Sora, Riku, Mickey, Aqua, and Ventus are joined by Kairi and Lee, who spent 10 hyperbolic time chamber minutes in Merlin's moon bounce, so they're totally trained and up to the task.
Yep,
Yen
pretty
Sid
much.
goes,
Son of a Disney, is this really the best we have? Okay, y'all ready to
Yeah,
fight Xehanort?
that's valid.
Wait, Mr. Yen Sid.
says Goofy.
If the 7 and the 13 fight each other, then that'll summon the Keyblade, right? Yes, what's your point? So if we don't fight them, then Xehanort can never win. Wow, Goofy, you're as smart as you are handsome. But if we refuse to fight, Xehanort
I'm glad
will just
he's
use
addressing
the
this
7
part.
Princesses of Heart instead.
Turnips, cries Sora. I won't stand by and let Nordy Nort hurt Jasmine and Belle and Snow White and...
No, actually, we're done with those princesses. It's all about Frozen and Tangled now.
But what happens?
It's all about Tangled and Frozen.
I don't think of any other Disney princesses appear in Kingdom Hearts 3. Because the only other princesses of light that appear, like of new princesses of light, because I'm pretty sure it has to do with like their story arc is completed and their worlds are, well, actually no, I'm pretty sure the inability to access those old princesses of light has to do with Sora locking their worlds down and protecting them from darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. So it's like, so they have to seek out new worlds and new princesses in order to take and use for their princesses of light, which include Rapunzel and Elsa. And I can't remember if there's any others that they have access to, because all the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, you have, of course, you have Hercules, which doesn't have a princess unless you count like Morgana. Twilight Town, which is just its own hub world. There's Toy Story, which doesn't have a princess. There's Monsters Inc., which doesn't have a princess unless you count like Boo or something. And then you have, of course, Tangled and Frozen, which has their princesses. And then you have Big Hero 6. And then I think that's all of the worlds before the Keyblade Graveyard. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
Maybe, Moana, eventually. Now go!
At some point, it's
appease
an
our
inevitability.
shareholders and fight that Xehanort!
So the
an
7 Guardians
inevitability.
of Light and Donald and Goofy take the battle bus to the Keyblade Graveyard. They battle against the trillion billion Heartless, and Sora defeats them with a choo-choo train.
Yeah,
But then
using like the big attraction super moves, he just blows them up with a giant train.
Terranort shows up and kills everybody. Oopsie poopsie. Sora wakes
Okay, well technically, Donald kills Terranort because it is revealed Donald Duck is the single strongest mage in all of Square. That's because Donald is able to use Zeta Flare. As far as we know, like up until like the Bahamut in Final Fantasy 16, the previous strongest character was like Bahamut in Final Fantasy 15, who used Terra Flare, which was strong enough to like mess up the entire universe. So the fact that Donald was able to use a stronger flare move like that with Zeta Flare, and the fact that he is on par with the latest, most powerful version of Bahamut, yeah, Donald's busted. But yeah, Donald took himself out because he exhausted himself with Zeta Flare, and everybody else got taken out, and it's just like a 1-by-1 loss until he woke up in the final world.
up dead in the final world and puts his soul back together by running through an Escher painting and high-fiving himself a lot. He
Yep.
brings everyone back
Yeah, he shows up and he's like kind of told what to do by Chirithy, which you wouldn't know what Chirithy is unless you played the mobile game.
to life, and they fight another wave of a trillion billion Heartless. But this time, they summon the power of Union Cross and surf
Yep.
on a wave of Keyblades, and the ghost of this guy without pointy anime hair winks at Sora. See? I called it.
Yeah, he has like silver, like wavy curly hair instead of spiky anime hair.
Yen Sid, tired of everyone's incompetence, blasts down from orbit and makes a path through the Heartless.
Moses, I'm doing a Moses!
It really is funny how like Yensid shows up, uses his magic, and shows that he's one of the strongest magic users by just creating impenetrable walls of light between the darkness.
Yells, finally, after countless games and years upon years of waiting, we have our 7 and our 13 face off against each other. And it's all tense and quiet, and a tumbleweed rolls past. But Xehanort goes,
Lol, nope. Poof, here's a maze.
Sora works his way through Xehanort's
Oh
last-minute
my God,
corn
the
maze of cheap
maze.
suspense and takes out some organization members. He helps turn
Yep.
Terranort back into Terra, and Replica Riku kills Dark Riku while Riku watches. And Sora
Yeah.
goes, check please. The final hooded member is
It's
revealed
wild.
to be Xion, and she's evil again.
Yep,
But
Xion's
off-screen,
back.
Ansem the Wise was able to log into his computer after finding his password underneath the keyboard and put Roxas'
Mickey's
parts
abs.
into the replica body, and so Roxas enters the fight. Xion goes, wait, nope, I got my heart back from Sora. Thanks, Sora, I'm good again. And he's like,
Yeah.
when did that happen? Whoa! All the while, each fight is bringing Xehanort one shard closer to the
Yep.
Keyblade. Kairi, for the first time ever, is about to do a thing, but before she can, she gets kidnapped. Oh,
Yoink.
how convenient.
Yeah, she's literally in the middle of like fighting back to back with Lee/Axel when she just gets snatched through a portal.
Maybe next time, Kairi. Maybe next time. Sora's like, heck, I'm not gonna fight and let you summon the Keyblade. I throw down my sword. But Xehanort goes,
Oh yeah, what if I do this?
Psh, okay, sure. Threaten someone I don't even know.
This is Kairi from Destiny Islands.
I think I know what Riku looks like.
Pinty girded, your friend is now murdered.
And he kills Kairi. Wait,
Yeah.
I think I remember who she
He
is
just
now.
straight up
No!
kills
In a
Kairi.
frenzy, Sora defeats the last Norts, allowing Xehanort to summon the Keyblade.
I made this.
Oh yeah, that was the thing I wasn't
Yeah,
supposed
oops.
to do. Whoops, he says.
Whoopsie
Now
doodle.
I'll summon Kingdom Hearts and make it purple and drippy.
Says Xehanort. Duck noises, says Donald. Yuck, says Goofy. Or at least he should have. Mickey,
should've.
realizing he should probably do something of note in this game, stops time and pulls Sora aside. Hey, so it turns out that most of the organization members you killed were trapped.
Okay, so about this bit here, it's not Mickey that tells him. It's like I'm pretty sure it's like Donald that actually tells him like, that Xehanort is the portal in which the other organization members traveled through time with. Because, like, Mickey tries to hit Xehanort with Ultima, and Xehanort counters by using Stopza in order to counter it. And it is, like, Goofy that kind of, like, gives, like, the 411 on how the time travel's working. So that's why they have to target Xehanort's heart specifically.
Going through time, which is why they were back even though you defeated them before. And Xehanort is the portal that lets them do that.
That makes every amount of sense. Thank you, Mickey-senpai.
Oh no, is that a wave of Heartless I see?
Stop. So they dive into the portal that is Xehanort and wind up in Scala ad Caelum, the stairway to the sky. And
Yep, Scala ad Caelum, the original home of the Keyblade builders. Way back. We were supposed to get a mobile game about it, but then it got canceled.
prepare for their final, ultimate, you better believe it's gonna be epic, anime showdown. Sora
Hell
believes
yeah,
in himself,
baby.
Xehanort turns into a goat, and the player mashes L2 a lot, trying to select the right... Damn it! Well, at least someone turned into a boat. At last, Xehanort is defeated.
Darn Grommet, my plan was
It is
off.
pretty useful.
Everyone was gonna be all like,
Honestly, like, Rage Form is good for, like, getting out of tight pinches, but is not good for whatever you really need to heal yourself. That fight took me a minute when I was doing it myself.
"Oh, Xehanort, you're so cool."
But you're not so cool, old friend.
Yeah, so some context to this. Basically, at the last second, it tries to do this kind of, like, bait and switch, where it's like, Xehanort, like, in the end, in reality, he wasn't super evil like he, like, portrayed himself. He just, like, he needed to be the strong one that took charge in order to save light from darkness and create a true balance of, like, only light by wiping out the universe so there's only light left. And, like, and, like, this very misguidedness to it, which is, like, doesn't really fly.
Gasps with astonishment because it's the ghost of Ericus present. Yeah, this is one detail I probably should have mentioned in the last video. When Ericus died in Birth by Sleep, his little soul particles got caught in Terra's hair, and he's been quietly hanging out inside of Terra this whole time.
Yeah.
Xehanort goes,
Heck, I guess you're right. I quit. Let's go get some sushi.
Ericus and Xehanort hold hands and fly off into space, and there goes any chance we had at catharsis. Okay, cool, this is super underwhelming.
Yeah, so in the end, like, Xehanort basically admits he's wrong and hands over, like, the Keyblade to Sora as, like, his bequeathment and recognition of Sora as a Keyblade master. And in the end, decides to give up and basically just, like, accept fate and to pass on with Ericus into the next world.
Sora
basically.
picks up the Keyblade and swooshes everything back to normal, and everyone's like, hooray! Lee is chilling with Roxas and Shion, Aqua's hanging out with Ventus and Terra, none of whom have aged in 10 years, okay?
Yeah, so basically, like, he's summarizing the endings, I think.
And Sora goes to Riku and is like, well, spit me out like the pit of a palpu fruit. I can't believe we all made it back in one piece.
Yeah, he's summarizing the ending, essentially.
And Riku
I'll
goes,
summarize it a little bit better.
Kairi died, right?
oh yeah, but if I bring her heart back, I'll be lost forever.
Where does it say that?
It says right here in my dramatic endings for Dingus's book that I ate for lunch. So Sora brings Kairi back to life and fades away. Later, nerds. And just
Yeah.
then Naminé walks over and starts breakdancing. Ow! Meanwhile, Pete and Maleficent
Okay, so basically, it's explained a little bit better in the DLC in ReMind. And I could not find a video for it on his channel. I saw one video that was like 45 seconds long or something, and it probably doesn't go into much detail. But basically, as far as the endings go, like, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, like, finally move on from Ericus's death and use Ericus's old Keyblade as a headstone. And then also the Chirithy from the final world shows up and runs to Ventus because it's apparently his original Chirithy. So yeah, that bridges even more gaps for questions that need answers. And Axel / Lee and Roxas and Shion go hang out in Twilight Town now, and Syax, the blue-haired dude who is like Axel's old best friend from when they were teenagers, is not a dickhead anymore and hangs out with them and gets them ice cream. And then the Dog Street guys, so Roxas's friends from the computer simulation show up and they're hanging out with them too. So it's all just one big old like ice cream party. And then they finally get a replica body for Naminé, and Roxas brings her along to Destiny Islands to hang out with everybody because everybody's just hanging out at Destiny Islands now. And then it's like revealed before all of this, by the way, that now that Sora is a master and can use the power of Wakings freely, he makes the plan to basically use the power of Waking to freely travel through time in order to save Kairi and bring her heart back. But as a result, it will cause him to be lost as well. It will cause him to be lost. And he brings Kairi back at the cost of himself. And as a result, he fades on to the quote-unquote next world, which, as we see in the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, they view as a quote-unquote afterlife, but it's really just another plane of existence entirely, called Quadratum, which is where Sora is and where Riku is trying to find a way to find Sora. Yeah. We'd have to watch a little summary of ReMind and the Kairi game, the musical one, in order to kind of like get a like decent grasp out of what all that is.
And actually find the box they've been searching for this whole time, and it turns out to be the Master of Masters box from Union Cross. Remember that one right there?
They were trying to find the Master of Masters box.
A hooded figure arrives and summons 4 of the 5 foretellers. They're like,
they show up
Blue
first.
Shoe, the other apprentice from Union Cross whose face we've never seen. You are right here in the lineup. Yep, that's you. Why have you portaled us here to the future? Also, we're missing Snake Girl or Rabbit Girl or whatever. And Lushu takes off their hood and reveals themselves to be Xigbar.
Yep. Lushu is Xigbar. He was the one pulling the strings the entire time. He was the one that passed down No Name to eventually land in the hands of Xehanort. And while acting as Xehanort's disciple, was actually manipulating him the whole time. And now it looks like Lushu, or the Master of Masters, is going to be the main villain of the next game.
They apparently didn't die earlier. And our Lushu. Xigbar, or Lushu, is like, whoops, looks like Xehanort's out of the picture, and I'm the villain now. Horngus hens, the ride never ends, hee hee hee. And then Sora wakes up in Tokyo, and the guy from Verum Rex is there. Yes, the guy from the fictional game Rex was obsessed with. I do not know. Don't look at me. And that's it for Kingdom
Yeah, that would be the world of Quadratum.
Hearts 3. Or is it? Might be. Most of Kingdom Hearts 3 took place in an alternate timeline dreamscape, and there's actually some semi-decent evidence to back that up. I don't know.
That is
There's
incorrect.
a link in the description to the theory, and it makes me mad that it's plausible. You can also click here and watch Gam read the theory to me while I work on this video that you're watching. Good night, everybody. See you in 15 years. Also, look, I got stickers now. pointsnail.com. Bye.
I'll watch the ReMind video here as well. He is unhappy about that. Also, thank you for the follow, Wilfred. So what does he have to say in a minute of ReMind?
Okay, so, Kairi finally did a thing, but it made her really, really tired. So she had to sleep it off for a year.
Okay, that's a decent enough summary. You know. I think Barry is I think Barry is going through it. But yeah, so a quick little TLDR of ReMind. Basically, it takes place between Sora saving Kyrie's heart, but before he faded away. So there's some time travel shenanigans, and Kyrie plays more of a role in defeating Xehanort, and like in an alternate sort of timeline parallel to Sora fighting Xehanort, Kyrie also fights Xehanort, and it kind of all like forms together as like a means of trying to also simultaneously piece together the memories of Sora and where he might have gone after he faded away. And it's more followed up in Melody of Memories, I think the game is called. Let me Google that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Melody of Memory, which is like a rhythm game, a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game that is focused on Kyrie. And that, I'm pretty sure that is where we get like the reveals of like Quadratum and the other parallel world to the world we know in Kingdom Hearts, where it's not like, oh, different worlds, it's a whole other separate plane of existence where we learned about Quadratum and all that. But yeah, that was a good enough summary there. So that was a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts and ReMind, very briefly, with all of my own traditional yapping as I do. Oh boy. I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, honestly. I have played all of Kingdom Hearts. I've interacted with as much Kingdom Hearts as I can. I understand the plot more than I would care to admit. The fact that I know as much about Kingdom Hearts plot as I do is... I wouldn't call it embarrassing, but normally someone doesn't dedicate this much brain space to Kingdom Hearts lore. But you know, that's just what I do. But yeah, let me know what you thought about Kingdom Hearts 3 and its stuff all down in the comments below. I know some people thought it to be a little underwhelming for the wait, and kind of a sloppy finish to the story of Xehanort and the War of Darkness and Light. Now that especially we're entering like a whole new arc with the Master of with the Lost Master saga starting in Kingdom Hearts 4. So let me know what you thought about all that in the comments down below. And of course, don't forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you know when I upload, and it helps me in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.